Champagne gang, Fizz fam, confidants. Are y'all ready to get y'all day started right? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Mornings with the Empress, your early morning rise and shine to help you step out into this day feeling renewed, revived, empowered, refreshed, so that you're ready to face any challenges that may come your way. So if you're ready to get your day started right, then let's make sure you shake that groggy feeling from the night before. Make sure that your mind is fully awake to take on whatever this day may bring your way. Get ready for Command Your Morning. Let's toast. Good morning, confidants. Wakey, wakey. Are you ready to get your day started and take control of this day? Command your morning and state your claim on your day? Well, let's get ready to get started. Good morning, imagination. Let's get this day started off right, shall we? Imagine waking up in the morning, feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day ahead. As you stretch your body and open your eyes, you remember that today is the day you will embark on a journey of self-discovery and begin taking control of your day. First thing we're going to do is find a comfortable spot and ensure you are sitting upright. Back straight, chin up. Prepare yourself for this 15-minute interactive video that awaits. Let's jump into our first exercise, shall we? Deep, focused breathing. Let's begin by just breathing. Take a couple deep breaths. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. With each inhale, feel your lungs expand and fill with energizing air. And with each exhale, you release any tension or negativity that may have lingered from the nights before. As you continue to breathe, feel a sense of calm washing over you, beginning at the top of your head and flowing down through the bottom of your feet. Feel it refresh you, positive energy in and negative energy out. As you continue this rhythmic breathing, your mind becomes clearer and you feel a renewed sense of focus and determination, filling you up and setting the tone for the rest of the day. Now let's shake up those limbs and wake them up. Now, if you want to rid yourself from that sluggish feeling, you need your mind and body engaged and activated. These exercises are simply to help your body shake that tired and sluggish feeling from the night before. So let's begin, shall we? Starting with your head, I need you to tilt slowly back. 1, 2, 3. Now forward. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that again. Back. 1, 2, 3. Now forward. 1, 2, 3. Now let's slowly turn your head to the left, okay? Now turn. 1, 2, 3. And to the right. 1, 2, 3. Again, left. 1, 2, 3. And right. 1, 2, 3. Now let's slowly tilt our heads to the left. 1, 2, 3. And to the right. 1, 2, 3. Again, left. 1, 2, 3. And right. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Let's move down to your shoulders. We're going to start with simple ups and downs, okay? Let's go up, 2, 3, and down. 2, 3. Again, up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Now we're gonna move in circles. Let's go back first. Are you ready? Back, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Now forward in circles. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Now extend your arms out to each side and lightly shake them. Feel all negativity and muscle fatigue leaving from your arms as you shake. Ready? Let's go. Shake. 1, 2, 3. Now drop them. Again. Shake. 1, 2, 3. Now drop them. Now let's keep going. For this next section, you're either going to stand or sit. Now lean forward slowly. Now to the left. Now to the right. Now sit straight up. Let's go again. Ready? Lean forward. Now to the right. Now to the left. Now sit straight up. Let's wake up those legs now. If you're sitting up on the bed, you're going to lift your legs straight up and just shake it. If you're sitting in a chair, you're going to kick your leg out and just shake. Okay? Let's begin. Slowly lift your leg. Left leg first. Hold it. Now shake. 1, 2, 3. Now down. Again, lift. Hold. Now shake. Left leg down. Right leg now. Lift. Hold. Now shake. Again, lift. Hold. Now shake. You should be feeling those limbs waking up now. Now I want you to lift your leg and rotate your ankles. For this, we are going to alternate legs, okay? Left leg first, lift. Now rotate. 1, 2, 3. Now lower. Right leg, lift. Now rotate. 1, 2, 3. Now lower. One more time. Left leg lift. Now rotate. Now lower. Right leg lift. Now rotate. Now lower. Now if you can just lightly shake your entire body. Waking your body up for this day. Good. And now let's just take some nice, deep breaths. We're going to inhale 4 seconds, hold it 3 seconds, and exhale 4 seconds. And when we do this, really fill your lungs up with air. Feel that air energizing you. And when you exhale, really blow that air out of your lungs. Let's oxygenate your body and mind. Okay? Ready? Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Let's go again. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Good. While your eyes are closed, visualize your day unfolding before you. Imagine yourself stepping out into the world, refreshed and full of confidence and purpose. Each step you take is deliberate as you navigate through the challenges and opportunities that await, and you know which steps to take and in which direction. See yourself engaging in meaningful conversation, commanding the conversation, making progress on important projects, and connecting with others in a genuine and impactful way. Your mind and imagination have the power to command this day, and your words have the power to manifest it. Envision yourself overcoming obstacles with ease, tapping into your inner strength and resilience. Slowly open your eyes, feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation for the day ahead. This breathwork and visualization exercise has primed your mind and body for success, allowing you to approach each moment with intention and clarity. Throughout the day, you carry this energy and mindset cultivated within you. You find yourself making conscious choices that align with your goals and values. Even when faced with unexpected challenges, you tap into the power of your breath and visualization to stay grounded and focused. You know that you can rely on the power of breathwork and visualization to guide you through whatever lies ahead. With each breath, you invite presence and awareness into your life, creating a foundation for growth, fulfillment, and joy. So take a deep breath and step into this transformative practice. Allow yourself to be captivated by the power of breath and the limitless possibilities that await when you visualize your day. Embrace this journey of self-discovery and watch as your life unfolds in extraordinary ways. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, remember the power that lies within you. Repeat these affirmations with me. I am capable of accomplishing anything I set my mind to. I have the strength and resilience to overcome any challenge. I am deserving of success and happiness. I radiate confidence and positivity in all that I do. I embrace each moment with gratitude and joy. I attract abundance and opportunities into my life. I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. I am surrounded by love and support from others. I am connected to my true purpose and passion. I am worthy of all the blessings that come my way. I am the creator of my reality, and I have the power to shape my day with positivity and purpose. I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. I trust in my abilities, and I know that I have everything within me to overcome any obstacle that comes my way. I am grateful for all the blessings in my life, and I attract more abundance with each passing day. I choose to focus on the present moment, letting go of past regrets and future worries. I prioritize self-care and nurture my mind, body, and soul with love and compassion. I approach every task with enthusiasm and determination, knowing that I am capable of achieving great things. Take these affirmations with you as you navigate through the day. Allow them to guide you and uplift you. Trust in the power of breath work. And when you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to breathe and visualize, to create a positive and fulfilling day filled with endless possibilities. You have the ability to command your day and create a life that is truly extraordinary. Are you awake now and ready to take on this day? As you go throughout your day, continue to tell yourself, this is my day. I lay claim to everything positive this day sends my way, and I deflect any negativity that tries to come my way. Embrace the positive, repel the negative, and take hold of this day and maximize the moment. Do y'all feel nice and energized? I hope you do. Mind nice and awake. You got your first affirmations. Are you ready for part 2 of Mornings with the Empress? Well, this is a segment, baby, that we call Glow Off. Go, grow, and glow. It's time out for going off about everything. No, baby. It's time that we start glowing off. So turn your glow up. Turn up your shine, because we're getting ready to get into some encouragement to help you glow off on your day. All right? Now, this is going to come from one of my champagne gang. So, from Progressive One, it says, Good rising. Peter Pan syndrome. The price of staying stuck. You've heard the story. Peter Pan and his raw tag crew, the Lost Boys. Boys who refuse to grow up. Sounds innocent, sounds adventurous, but here's the truth most people miss. Refusing to grow isn't magical, it's dangerous. We've got grown men and women walking around in adult bodies with childlike minds, emotions out of control, yelling instead of speaking, tantrums instead of truth, running from responsibility and calling it freedom. Whoa. We need to clock that emoji in the chat, really. But listen close. There comes a time when the tantrums have to stop. The transformation has to begin. There comes a time to pause, to pray, to hope, and then put in the work that greatness demands. You can still keep the fire of a child's wonder, but you better walk with the wisdom of a grown warrior. Don't keep stepping over the same life lessons. Don't keep stepping over the same lessons life is laying in front of you, like roads to your better self. Let's try that again. Don't keep stepping over the same lessons life is laying in front of you, like roads to your better self. The best version of you is not lost. It's just waiting on the other side of maturity. Clock. Put whatever emoji in the chat comes close to this. Because, baby, you got to call the truth when the truth is the truth. You hear me? Because a lot of the problem that we have going on in today's society is, baby, there's a lack of maturity. We seem to think maturity is because I can check you and because I can read you. But maturity is also knowing when the battle isn't even worth fighting. The problem with a lot of us is we spend so much time fighting battles that God never meant for us to fight, that by the time it gets to the one that He means for us to win, we've exerted so much energy on minuscule situations and minuscule problems. Put TYS in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. For those of you who are new, that means talk your shh. That's the problem with so many of us. We're still stuck in Never Never Land. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to start naming it. Every time we cover a story that seems to fall in line with this, we're going to put hashtag PPSD in the chat. That is for Peter Pan Syndrome Disorder. We just going to put hashtag PPSD anytime we cover a story. Because the Bible says, when I was a child, I acted as a child. But when I became an adult, I put away childish things. And a lot of the stuff that we seeing right now it's just real childish. Some of the arguments, they don't sound middle school to y'all. Some of the fights and things that people get into it about, it don't sound a little grade schoolish to y'all. You don't think we ever need to get to a place where we grow up and understand some stuff ain't even worth it? Why do we feel the need to have to prove everything? Why do I need to prove to you what I'm capable of doing to you just because you said you want me to prove it to you? Do it make sense when it's said back to you? How about say it to yourself? Let's try that. Say it to yourself and see if it makes sense to you when you're speaking to you. That I have to take time out of my day to prove something to you that I already know within myself. And I'm not talking about all y'all that's out here false flagging and faking just so that you can get a little bit of camera time and get a moment to shine, to get some likes and views. No, people who really are like that, they don't broadcast it like that. Talk about it. They don't run their mouth. They definitely ain't running the social media. So you have to ask yourself, why have we reached a day and age where we have a bunch of people who refuse to grow up? And then those people give birth to people who refuse to grow up. So if we got a bunch of boss babies running around and nobody has grown up, what does tomorrow look like? What does the future look like? Is there a future? Drop in the comments and let me know. But this has been your moment of glow off girl. Glow off boy. Let's glow off together. It's time for us to start boots on the ground when it comes to our destiny and our future. This has been your moment to boss up, gloss up, and glow off. Haven't we spent too much time going off? Baby, it's time to put your boots on the ground, hold your head high, and step into a version of you that you didn't even know possible. Clock it. Now, for part 3 of Mornings with the Empress, get ready for Bubbles and Bulletins with the Morning Report. Showtime. This is the Morning Report. What's going on, Champagne Gang? Welcome to Bubbles and Bulletins. Yes, baby, by now you should already have your coffee, your mimosa, your tea, your water, your sparkling water, your detox water already in your hand, and you should already be hydrating. Let's get into our first flash feed of the day. Welcome to the stage, Akala. She's just an image now, but with the right equipment, baby, I could turn her into a superstar. Did you know there are people paying for virtual concerts?
I'm at a sold-out concert in Hollywood. There's 1,000 people here waiting for a headliner who's never actually going to appear on the stage because she's a vampire anime girl. Welcome to Fantastic Reality.
We don't want it to feel like, oh, this is just virtual. This is just reality. It's kind of just, how can we mix it all together where you can't tell what is virtual and what is real anymore?
Some people paid up to $180 to see their favorite VTubers sing and dance. You might be wondering, are these avatars being live streamed? Is this pre-recorded? You're not supposed to ask those questions. VTuber culture is often compared to professional wrestling because of a common internal rule, kayfabe. In wrestling, the athletes in the ring are performers, and everyone's okay with it because it's fun. VTubers take this to another level. You don't talk about how they do it or who's behind the avatars. You just enjoy the show.
There's things like anime, there's things like streaming. These things kind of have a bit of an overlap, and that's kind of where VTubers come into play, right?
Can I get a photo?
Sure.
The knee-jerk reaction here would just to be a hater. To say the VTuber fans just like anime aesthetics, they don't like music, and the whole scene is based on pretending. And I'll admit it, I kinda started with this mentality. But then again, I thought about it. I really like rap music, and isn't a lot of that also just pretending? Being at the concert was a way for fans to see and support their oshi, or their favorite artist, and to be around other people who are into the same thing. And honestly, being around people who all really like something is pretty fun.
VTubers are an expression of happiness. grogginess to me.
But not concerts with real singers on a stage. No, darling. We're talking about concerts performed by virtual stars. Welcome to the new digital dynasty, VTuber royalty. These aren't just digital backdrops or CGI effects. No, these are fully animated personas. VTubers, short for virtual YouTubers. Imagine logging on to watch someone stream, chat, or sing, but instead of seeing their real face, you see a live, moving avatar, an anime princess, a cyberpunk diva, or even a talking toaster if that's what floats your boat, or, like my girl on the screen, an animated vampire. But behind it all, a real human talking and moving, but the audience completely hypnotized by the fantasy on the screen. And listen, this is more than a trend. It's an empire. Fans aren't just watching, they're donating, tipping, buying merch, and selling out digital meet and greets. Some of these virtual celebrities are pulling 6 figures a month. Makes you want to rethink your job choices, don't it? Especially if you're creative. Baby, they're selling out online arenas where no one's actually there. Just a screen. The sparkle is virtual, but the money, oh, that's very, very real. So champagne seekers, riddle me this. Are you popping the cork on this digital champagne bottle and taking a fizzy dive into the glimmering world of VTube royalty? Or are you keeping it human? Drop in the comments and let me know. Did you know a 12-year-old boy recently died after swimming in a lake? Not from drowning, but from something you can't see with the naked eye. A brain-eating amoeba. For our next flash feed, we are going all the way to South Carolina. Jason Carr was a bright, athletic middle schooler, just enjoying a 4th of July getaway at Lake Murray, South Carolina. Days later, he fell ill with rapidly escalating symptoms: headache, nausea, confusion, and was diagnosed with a rare infection called primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, or PAM. Tragically, he passed away on July 18th. Only 4 survivors have ever been recorded in the U.S. out of 167 known cases since 1962.
We're still in shock about how all this happened. Had we known the risk of him swimming in that lake, nobody would have ever chosen to get in. So we definitely want the public to know that there are major risks swimming in Lake Murray and any other body of water or any other lake that's around as well. So there needs to definitely be some awareness about it. And we don't want his death to be in vain, because had we known, he wouldn't have been in it.
And so the Carr family is committed to making sure that there's long-lasting change. That's part of Jason's legacy. And some things that we found out so far is that Lake Murray, people are confused and think it's just a public body of water. Lake Murray is owned by Dominion Energy. It's a very sophisticated public-private partnership. Dominion Energy owns Lake Murray for purposes of creating energy. And the Department of Environmental Services handles the testing of water and things of that nature. Currently, as the status quo is right now, the Department of Environmental Services tests 122 beaches for bacteria that can be harmful. And then they issue PSAs if the levels are found to be harmful. There is no funding directed to our lakes that host our residents who like to get some reprieve from the heat during the summer months. And Jason was a smart kid. If he would have known that the risk of this deadly amoeba in consistent waters that are above 80 degrees could turn deadly, he would not have swam in that water. And that's what needs to be done. We're asking, and the Carr family wants to see some policy changes here. The state already has a mechanism in place for testing bodies of water. They've done that for our beaches because our beaches are what attracts tourism, but our lakes is where the residents go. And there should not be a distinguishing between the two. They have the same system in place. So one thing we'll be asking for is that the Department of Environmental Services immediately convene to start that testing. And the most tragic thing that really upset me and the Carrs as well is nobody ever reached out to them. Not one agency head. There's never any testing of the water. There's no questioning of where Jason was swimming and playing in the water to figure out where this happened. That's the whole purpose of an independent investigation, because we're doing the work that the agency should have done. You have 5 law enforcement agencies on Lake Murray. Saluda County Sheriff Department, Newberry County Sheriff Department, Richland County Sheriff Department, Lexington County Sheriff Department, and Department of Natural Resources. If somebody dies in a single car accident, car wreck, there's a mate report. If somebody died in a boat wreck, there'll be investigation of it. But you have kids who are playing in the water, everybody using the water, and if somebody dies of a deadly amoeba, which could have been tested for, and PSAs could have been put out there, there's no testing that has ever been done. I find it hard to believe that we're standing here today and nobody's ever called the cars to even say, how are you doing? Where was your son at? We need to stop, test this area and figure out how we could, make sure other people are safe. And so that's a huge red flag. And also, we're asking for legislation to be passed so that this can be taken care of. It probably will require that this, Naegleria fowleria, if I pronounce it wrong, y'all fix it, please, okay? That be added to the reportable diseases. Currently, right now, there are infections, if they're caught, DHEC or Department of Environmental Services will make a report of that and they'll immediately conduct the investigation. There should never be a situation where a child loses life playing in Lake Murray, doing what kids do, and the agencies and departments that the reason why people feel safe do not do anything. No reports, no phone calls, no follow-up, no investigation. And that's why we're doing that today. And the cars, we talked earlier today and they were talking about the legacy of Jason and how Jason was a fighter. He worked hard. He wouldn't quit. And they're not going to quit till something is done. Currently, the status quo on Lake Murray is to protect Dominion Energy's financial interests. And the same type of mechanisms that are in place for our beaches should be in place at our lakes and other fresh body waters across the state. And with global warming and consistent heat waves that we had, the water of Lake Murray is hot. And the statistics showing how this amoeba turns deadly in these heat waves is factual. It's out there. We need PSA so people can make their own informed decisions. They can say it's rare, but to the cars, it's not rare. They lost their son and nothing's going to bring them back. So we'll take a few questions that y'all may have. If anything that the cars can't answer, I may step in and just be respectful of that. But starting to the left.
Attorney Bailey. Given that Representative Bill Hickson chairs the House Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Environment Affairs Committee, will you be calling on him and his Republican colleagues to hold emergency hearings and mandate seasonal testing for Naegleria fowleri, especially now that EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin is planning to default the legal basis for tackling climate change, which we know creates the warm water conditions that you just talked about?
Yeah, we'll talk to any and everybody who could help change policy and legislation, Republican, Democrat, Independent, it does not matter. We'll talk to them. And if they need to have hearings, that's fine, but we want action. That's what we want, action and changes. Because as of right now, we have a heat advisory today. You see that there are heat advisories that are put out by Dominion Energy along with the Department of Public Health, but there's nothing notifying anybody about the amoeba that could be deadly in Lake Murray and other fresh body waters right now.
What are you're talking about passing laws, doing legislation like that. What are your next steps? Like tomorrow, what is the first thing on your to-do list?
Yeah, we're still conducting our investigation. The information that I told y'all today, y'all did not read about that in the paper. Nobody said anything about Dominion Energy. Nobody talked about the public-private partnership. Y'all haven't heard anything about the 122 beaches that have been checked. So we've done some work already. There's only so much that we can do without subpoena power and things of that nature. But the Carr family was focused on laying their son to rest, who just had his funeral on Saturday. There was a viewing on Friday, and now we're addressing the media on Tuesday. We'll take more steps. We're hoping that some awareness from this, hopefully some people reach out, immediately discuss some legislation that can be passed. I did talk to Representative Jermaine Johnson today. He said he's interested in possibly pre-filing a bill to cover this in December, but we want some immediate steps done by agency heads who have that power to go ahead and implement these things.
What were the first signs, symptoms that you saw leading up to 2019?
Sure. Well, Jason had spent some time during the 4th of July holiday with friends. And once we came home, he started complaining of a headache. And we gave him some Tylenol, watched him. He said he felt better. So we just assumed it was a regular migraine or headache, just like any other person would have. The next day, he complained of the same headache. So we decided to take him to the doctor and get checked out. So we went to the ER. They gave him a shot, Toradol, I believe, and they checked on him. As time went by, we asked him how he was feeling. He said, I do feel better. So again, it seemed as though he had a regular migraine. The next day, we were at practice. Practice ended early, and he wanted to go hang out at a friend's house. So everything appeared to be normal. No reason for alarm. While at a friend's house, the friend's mother texted us and said, Jason is complaining of that headache again. And shortly thereafter, she texted back again and said, hey, he's vomiting. Immediately, we decided to go get him because being a multi-sport athlete, I either thought, one, he was dehydrated, or two, maybe he had a concussion because he also plays football, something he didn't tell me about. Immediately took him to the hospital. Well, first of all, we knew something was wrong because Jason left us in the house and went out to the truck. And when we got to the door, he was telling us, come on, I got to go. And that's not like him. He pushes through anything. So this was uncommon. As soon as he said that, we were grabbing keys. He walked into the hospital on his own, breathing on his own. Yes, he was experiencing a bad headache. We got to the ER, and the way it progressed from there was slowly. Okay, he still had the headache. He vomited in the ER, but he was able to pinpoint the pain in his head. In hindsight 2020, this was no headache. He was being attacked. He pinpointed the area on the right side of his head. He said, my head hurts on the right side right here. The front of my head hurts and my left eye. So the doctors began treatment. They really didn't have a definitive answer as to what was going on other than his symptoms, which was a headache and vomiting. There was no fever. There was nothing telling them that, hey, he's got an infection or anything leading up to it. They did test. They did decide to put him on antibiotics right away. They also did a spinal tap to try to rule out meningitis. Seeing as though he was in the water, we did disclose that he was in Lake Murray. We did tell them that. And I'm pretty sure in the back of their mind, they had that concern, but did not, want to speak on it just yet, which was the right thing to do. Find out the facts first. They did the spinal tap. They did the culture. We waited to see if anything grows. During that time, he did spike a fever, I believe, the next day. And that kind of gave the doctors some direction on where to go, indicating there's an infection. From there, things just kind of progressively got worse. He was still responding. Jason was still responding, but he became more and more lethargic as time went on. He would respond to me and his mother, but we would have to force a response. We would almost have to shake him and make him talk. But even through the medication and sedation, he kept fighting through it. When we spoke to him, he would squeeze his aunt's hand. When his mother and I spoke to him, he would respond by pulling us, doing the things that he could do. He even reached up during one of the nurse's procedures. They were adjusting his IVs. He just put his left arm in the air and he was sedated. He was intubated as well. But he knew enough to know that he was in trouble. He lifted his left arm in the air for them to put the IV in that one because they were having trouble with the right arm. Not only that, later they decided to change the sedation. Again, he fought through it to the point where he was still trying to assist the surgeon when they were putting the port in his head. He reached up through sedation, pulling his hair to the side so that they can do the procedure. I've never witnessed anyone with the will to fight like my son, and I probably won't ever. He refused to quit. I never taught him what that meant. I never expected him to lay down and just let this happen. He was given, I think, a day. Most people don't make it to the hospital. Most people perish before they're even aware something's wrong. He knew something was wrong. He spoke up about it, and we listened. Jason fought for another week on his back. And anyone that thinks this is rare should possibly put themselves in our shoes and consider just how rare is it when your loved one is the one that was affected. A child should not have to lose their life for doing something they assumed was safe. They should not have to double check to see if they are going to live or die from being a boy. He had a weekend full of fishing, swimming, boating, tubing. That's it. That's all he did. He was a great kid. He loved his friends. He just wanted to smile and wanted everyone else in the world to do the same thing. He should still be here, and there's absolutely no excuse why he shouldn't be.
Can I ask you, you've expressed interest in sharing stories so that other parents don't have to go through the same thing?
Yes.
Can I ask your reaction to DPH's policy about not having to inform the public about this because it is so rare?
Yes, I did.
Let me start with that.
Yes.
First, Justin, I'll let him give his natural reaction. DPH put it out there that's not so rare, but they don't test for it. So they really can't prove it's that rare. As you heard Mr. Carr just say, most people don't make it to the hospital. So, how about my comment is I think DPH should look at their policies right now. They should test for it. They should investigate any reportable incidents like Jason's, and then maybe revisit if it's so rare. And the loss of one's life, I mean, even if you say it's rare, if someone's infected, it's deadly. It's all but certain they're more than likely not going to survive. And that risk is just too high to roll a dice or flip a coin about our most vulnerable young people losing their life doing something that is a advertised recreational attraction throughout the state. But Ms. Carr, you answer that question if you could.
The answer that I'll give you is this. I might not be factual with the numbers, but let's just say I am. I think there have been about 167 cases reported in the U.S., somewhere in that ballpark. With that being said, 10 or so cases reported in the U.S. yearly. We could break that down again and say, out of those 167 cases, there were only 4 survivors. The word risk should mean something. It does to me, especially now. If there was a risk, people are looking at the wrong number associated with risk. Okay, 1 in every 200,000, 1 in every 500,000. Don't focus on that 500,000. Focus on that one person that could possibly be saved by something as simple as a precaution, by something as simple as a warning, anything. I'll also say this, as far as not being reportable, how accurate is that number? Only 10 reported in the US. How do we know if it's not being reported? That number has to be skewed. That's not accuracy. I would think that everyone going to that lake or any other body of water in this state would assume that they would leave with their family intact. We're missing one. And the only thing we did was go spend time with our family. This is our family. It has no boundaries. It has no race. It has no hue. Family isn't always blood. And when you're missing one, it hurts. It hurts deeply. It wasn't just us. It was an entire community that is devastated by this. Jason was somebody. Every one of these kids is somebody. And they all deserve a chance to grow, to live, become model citizens, to do all the dreams that they have in life. But my son isn't here anymore to experience any of that. And he had his whole future laid out in front of him. So that's my answer.
First off, for beginning, I just see some condolences. We were wondering if you can confirm where on Lake Murray you believe that he contracted this?
I'll refer to my attorney.
The public agency should have conducted an investigation. Our investigation is going to look into the location or locations. That's a gap in the department's policy right now. They should have immediately reached out to investigate this and sealed off those areas and did some testing. They didn't do that. So we'll get back to you on that information. And I think that goes to the Department of Public Health working to restore the public trust in our fresh body lakes. Because as of right now, there's countless people who are not going to be allowing their kids to swim in the lakes until there's some action taken by the department. especially on hot days like this with global warming. Cases have historically been in the South, but they're moving further up north in Maryland and other areas. And that's because our water temperatures are hotter and hotter for longer periods of time. And so to answer your question again, we can't give that information right now. I would love to see if the Department of Natural Resources, Department of Environmental Services, if they have conducted any investigation, which we believe they have not.
Can you cover again what type of communications you think state agencies should be making about Macleria foulery with the general public?
Yeah. So, for example, today it's probably feels like 105 degrees, right? There's heat advisories that Dominion Energy puts out there, along with the Department of Health, telling people about pets, elderly to be aware of the heat. And so we know statistically that amoeba in fresh body waters is more likely to be deadly if the water temperature is above 80 degrees. And we also know that Dominion Energy does keep track of water levels and water temperatures to protect their profit-making machine and their own fiscal interests. Then that same advisory should go out and say something like this. If you're going to Lake Murray today, just please be aware, amoeba, if it's in the lake, its water temperature is above 80 degrees, be aware of that. Enjoy the lake, but watch your children, make sure they're covering their noses, things of that nature. Just small little things, because right now they're not saying anything. And they know that you could die if you contract it. So hopefully there will be some changes after this, but just a short advisory like that will go a long way. And maybe in the areas where people swim frequently, the beaches and some of the parks, put some signs up letting people know. If you're going to be out here, that this is a risk that can happen. You can say, although rare, or whatever language they want to put, let people make their own informed decisions.
Do you have a recommendation for the state or political groups who work with water keepers who lead up their monitoring?
Well, we have a lot of fresh body lakes, think Lake Watery, Lake Murray, and other lakes like that. I'm not sure right now there's any mechanism in place outside of the beach testing that they do that could be duplicated in fresh lakes. I do think, even though if they're working with other special interest groups who are concerned about water quality for purposes of, wildlife, but also for consumption and drinking, I think that's great. But we need, some public scrutiny towards it. And so I think it should be the government who's the one who takes on that responsibility, given that's what the agency is here to do, so this is a public health agency. This was a public health failure, and it's an opportunity for them to restore public trust by making some changes. Any other questions? Anything else y'all want to say? No? Thank you all for your time. Thank you to the Carr's family, not just their blood family, but everybody who's out there. For those of y'all who are watching, keep them in your thoughts and prayers as they continue to grieve. It's not going to get easier for them. And also, if you're paying attention, call your legislator. Say that you want to see some changes. Call the agency heads. Ask about the death of Jason and what they can do to change, because that's one thing we want to see Jason's legacy do, is to make things safer for everybody. I mean, he was a fighter throughout his life. He was truly a one-of-a-kind, special person. There's no telling what he could have done, but this is going to be one thing that's part of his story. And so please stay tuned. We're going to continue our investigation. There'll be more things discussed, more steps taken, and the Carr family's not going to quit. But thank you.
Well, if you're just joining us now, a press conference just wrapped up where we heard from the family of 12-year-old Jason Carr for the first time since his tragic death. Now, if you remember, Carr passed away earlier this month after contracting a form of a brain-eating amoeba. Now, according to the state health officials, they believe he did contract that infection over on Lake Murray, and the family just confirming now that this all started after he was swimming in the lake, fishing in the lake over on Lake Murray on July 4th with some friends. But before they got to those details, they did recap the type of person that Jason was, saying that he was an athlete, he was lovable, he was caring, he was a musician, a star musician, they added, and helped his peers any chance that he could. The family added that they held this press conference because they wanted to raise awareness on this issue, saying that had they known about this rare form of an amoeba, they wouldn't have let him get into the lake, they wouldn't have allowed any of their family members to get into that lake, saying that they wouldn't want this to happen to anyone else, so they want to raise awareness, I should say, on this issue. Now, I do have a couple of notes that they mentioned about the timeline from when Jason started presenting these symptoms. They say that his first symptoms that he was showing after he swam in the lake on July 4th was a few days after. They said he presented and started with a headache. Now, that headache lasted a day or two, and once they realized that wasn't going away anytime soon, they did take him to urgent care where he did get checked out, they say. After that, he did go back home where he started to experience some vomiting. They say once he was at a friend's house, that headache did persist, and then it was added with some vomiting, so that's when they knew they needed to take him to the ER. Now, once in the ER, that's when they say doctors began running some more heavy treatments. They said that he did have a spinal tap, and that's when he did spike a fever. The family says that, unfortunately, that's when things did take a turn for Jason. Now, the family added that, again, had they known the risk, they wouldn't have let him swim or participate in any activities over in Lake Murray. Now, they did have a family attorney present. You did hear from Tyler Bailey there, who says that they are calling on state reps to make it a requirement to have testing in our fresh waters. They say the Department of Health does not currently track these cases, and that's exactly why that some of these we see it being so rare. They say that because the Department of Health does not track these cases, and they're calling on the Department of Health to begin testing these waters. They also added that there should be signs warning folks. They are calling on action, warning folks who are out over on the lake. They would like to see signage posted over on near our fresh waters for folks to be cautious if they are going to be entering the waters. Now, of course, when this all happened, News 19 did reach out to several doctors. We have information over on our website about signs, symptoms, prevention that you can read up on if you're interested. Of course, all of that information is over on our website at WLTX.com. For now, those are the details we know so far. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on this case. Tyler Bailey said they will be continuing an investigation after Jason's tragic death. Now, of course, all these details from the press conference today and what I just mentioned will be over on our website. Of course, as always, that's WLTX.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Naegleria fowleri, the so-called brain-eating amoeba, lives in warm, stagnant, fresh water. It enters the body if contaminated water enters the nose, then quickly migrates to the brain, causing almost always fatal inflammation. Now, Jason's family is speaking up. His parents want warnings posted at swimming spots and stated, "Had we known, we wouldn't have been in it. A child shouldn't have to risk their life just for being a boy." Their mission to raise awareness so other families don't face this heartbreak. So here's what we must know this summer. Warm lakes and rivers can hide microscopic dangers. Keep your head above water, use nose clips, and avoid diving or stirring sediment. This isn't fear-mongering, it's informed safety. Listen, y'all, this is crazy, because if you were on my live not too long ago, then you would have heard me mention that for the 4th of July that we went to a lake, and I believe it was a man-made lake, and the lake was warm. Like, when I say warm, I mean like bath water soak warm, like not hot, like, you know, women like their bath water, you know, halfway to hell, but warm, like to the point where men could tolerate the warmth type of warm. And just think, in that matter of time in swimming, me, one of my nephews, my niece, anybody that was out on that beach and in that water, this could have been them, just trying to be out and enjoy some water, some swimming, some water activities on an extremely hot day. It's crazy. Not only do we have to worry about danger seen, now I understand why the older people used to pray, "God, protect us from danger seen and unseen." Because amoebas are microscopic. I remember watching a movie on this kind of thing. The movie was called The Bay.
911, what are you reporting? Sorry, did you say something bad?
Yes, something really bad happened. She's bleeding.
Where is she bleeding from?
Good morning, Maryland. I am in Claridge, the host of our annual July 4th party.
Oh my God.
This is the CDC.
We're in the middle of some kind of viral outbreak. It's eating their organs, intestines, liver, it goes for kidneys.
There's something wrong with the water.
This stuff has chemical steroid in it.
Hey, we got a situation over the 911 call center, and the system's about to go down. We're just overloaded with calls.
Stephanie, you're not answering your phone. I do not want you to get off that boat.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I know they shut down all the roads going into Claridge. Now I'm flying over the water here, and, well, there's just dead fish everywhere.
That's so big, I don't think he fits in this boat. You ever seen anything like that?
Never seen nothing like that.
What is that? Son of a... You don't just shut down the Eastern Seaboard without approval from a higher authority.
As you can see here, we have these parasites. Oh my god. Isopods eating right through the fish's tongue. There's something really wrong. Help me.
It's eating them from the inside.
Dispatch. There's bodies everywhere.
Do you hear that?
What are you doing? Don't look at me.
We could easily be looking at a new form evolve.
Go away.
I'm going to show the world what happened here. If you find this tape, just please get it out.
We're gonna be okay.
Y'all need to go check it out. You really need to check it out. And it will really help you understand how quickly something like this can go really bad. Drop in the comments and let me know what you think. Well, this has been our first episode of Mornings with the Empris. You have joined me for Command Your Morning. You have joined me for GloOFF. And you have joined me for Bubbles and Bulletins. If you enjoyed the show today, please make sure you hit that like button. Also, consider joining the Champagne Gang and the Fizz Fam. Consider becoming one of us. Hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll be notified when we jump into whichever sector we jump into for another show. Until next time, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. This has been Mornings with the Empress. Now go grab your cup of coffee or your mimosa and go on and get that day started. Until next time, see you soon.